Whether or not you think that you want to play Corvus Belli's WarCrow game, you absolutely have to watch Whispers of Lindwurm. This and more on today's episode. Roll that intro. Welcome to Corner Case. You're in the hobby corner. I'm your host, your Tolkien fan, your best friend, Deck. Today, I want to talk about the series of videos that Corvus Belli has been releasing in promotion of their new game, WarCrow. This series called Whispers of Lindwurm. Link in description. For those of you who have been following, you know what's happening. For those of you who haven't been following, I highly suggest that you check it out. Why? The simple reason is that within our hobby, within the whole sphere of nerd things, there are not that many on-ramp points that are good. There are not that many ways to enter the hobby at the ground floor. I'll give you an example, and that example, of course, is Warhammer 40k. It could also be Malifaux. Basically, you see the models, you see people playing the game, your friends invite you to play the game, you think it looks cool, you want to try it, you want to get into the story. How does that happen? You buy the rule book, it's all words. It's not that engaging to get in. So for Warhammer, at least there are the series of books that have an audiobook format, and I listened to like 10 of those straight when I was getting in. Malifaux, there's the podcast, but even still, that's a little bit, you gotta walk it back like really far to get into the podcast. So the on-ramp experience isn't super good getting into the lore of a game. To this day, like, I did not learn Infinity from the rulebook. I learned it from playing with my friends and then checking what they told me on the wiki. So if there was going to be any absorbing of the lore of the world of Infinity from the rulebook, it didn't happen. There are not very many ways for you to get into a game where you're already invested in the story. Another example is just from other nerddom, comic books. Comic books, I think, were undergoing a bit of a dry spell in the early 2000s, but because of the movies, now so many people are invested in that lore. And let me tell you, as someone who has spent many years of their life going back and reading like Silver Age books to try and get the origin story, to try and get context around a lot of these heroes that are popular, it's a really tough on-ramp. So you really need these video format stories to get invested into the lore of something. That's why I'm telling you, even if you don't think that you're going to be interested in WarCrow, even if you have hesitations about if the game is going to be good or not, I think we have to suspend disbelief. Just try to get invested in the story because Corvus Belli is putting in a lot of effort to market that world building. And it is pretty cool. Without spoiling it too much, they have a lot of cool elements that I personally like. There is the mysterious element of the antagonistic fog. That's like a really good spooky element from a lot of things that I like. Curse of Strahd, that one movie. The color from out of space? The color from space? You know which one I'm talking about. The amorphous antagonistic fog. I think that's a really cool horror element. There's the cyclical magic. There's that shard that orbits the earth or something, and it actually affects like the intensity of magic powers on earth seasonally. I think that's a really cool element as well. So watch the Whispers of Lindwurm. Watch from the beginning. There's 3 episodes as of the time of recording, and there will be more. It does have cool stuff to get into, and especially because, like I said, there are not that many good on-ramps into worlds within our hobby. I highly recommend that you get in on the ground floor with this one. Even if you end up just painting the minis in the end, you didn't play the game, it was still like a pretty good ride. But I do have optimism for the game, and I'll talk about that at another time. Reason 1 for you to watch the series Whispers of Lindwurm is because it's a really great on-ramp, and you're not going to get that very often in our hobby. Reason 2 that you need to watch this series, I only know 2 companies in the tabletop gaming space that are good at marketing right now. Those are Wizards of the Coast and Games Workshop. So when I see that a game that I love is starting to put their points into marketing, we really need to back that, because Infinity is a great game, a great world to be in, the toys are great, the game is fun, and the community is awesome. So if this company is putting their points in marketing, I think we need to push that, because realistically, this space isn't healthy if there's not healthy competition. And if Corvus Belli is going to be the next company to rise up and like really create a competitive landscape in gaming, then I think supporting this is only going to enrich our hobby. Think about it like that. It's not really about if you want to play WarCrow or not. It's not really about if you like the fantasy setting, if you think the game is good. It's about if you care about the hobby holistically, if you've been in this for a long enough time that you've seen the ebb and flow and you want to see something different, or if you're a newer hobbyist, or if you play Infinity no matter what, like there's a lot of angles where if you like the hobby, supporting this is only going to make the hobby better. Food for thought there, just like a little something to think about. We want to support the companies that we love investing in marketing, and they're making a really good push here. It's not the highest production value thing ever, but it is pretty sweet. They're putting in all these little clues, even from like the first and second episodes. They're starting to draw through lines about how the world is built. So at the same time, they're telling you the stories and unveiling miniatures and unveiling the elements of the stories. Within the acting itself, her name is Hoopa, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think Hoopa is doing a really great job of being the face person for the game and for the development of the game. So I think it's a really fun ride no matter what, even if you just watch it for the entertainment value. Whispers of Lindwurm. Another video can summarize it for you, or you can just watch it yourself. But in this video, this is the corner case. So we're going to talk about the cultural impact. And the cultural impact of this video series is that this is a great on-ramp for a game franchise that doesn't happen that often by a big enough company that we all like. And this is a big marketing push, one of the bigger marketing pushes from a company that we like. So we need to support these marketing efforts for the benefit of the whole hobby. Check it out. Whispers of Lindwurm. You're at Corner Case. Please like and subscribe. We're always desperate. See you next time.
I am ready to subscribe again.